Hello, it's good to see you. Today I'm going to read a book we have in our classroom called The Case of Jake's Escape, and it's written by Laura Appleton-Smith and illustrated by Vredenburgh. Chapter 1, D&D's Detective Desk. In the summer, Dan and Dave run D&D's Detective Desk. The fact is that Dan and Dave are first rate at getting things back that are lost. They found John's pet snake in the cabinet under the sink. They found Abe's lost button under the drapes. They even found Mrs. Crane's jade locket hidden in the grass at the baseball game. Chapter 2, D&D's Next Case. One day, Dan and Dave were inspecting insects with their detective glasses when Mrs. Crane came running down the lane. Dan and Dave, my dog Jake has escaped. Can you help to get him back? Mrs. Crane asked as she felt the jade locket on her neck. When did Jake escape? Dan asked. I left at 10 o'clock to get coconut flakes and apricot jam. I was running a bit late, and in my haste I made a mistake and did not lock the gate, Mrs. Crane told him. Do not panic, Mrs. Crane. D&D are on the case, Dan said as he got dressed to hunt for Jake. Mrs. Crane, one last thing. Can you tell us spots Jake likes to visit? Dave asked. The lake, the baseball games, the skating rink, and the bank where Jake gets dog snacks from the bank teller named Kate, she told him. Chapter 3, Jake's Big Day. Dan and Dave went to the lake. They waded out to the swim instructor and asked, Have you spotted a lost Great Dane named Jake? Yes, the instructor told them. We were in the middle of a lesson when all of a sudden a big dog jumped into the lake. Is he still at the lake? Dave asked. No, he ran off dripping wet. He went to the skating rink, the swim instructor told him. When Dan and Dave got to the rink, a skater was yelling, The puck! The puck! That big dog made off with the puck. Dan and Dave asked a skater what happened. A big wet dog just ran into the middle of the face-off. He picked up the puck and ran out that exit, the skater told them. Out the exit, Dave and Dan spotted Jake's wet tracks on the pavement. He had run to the baseball game. At the game, the fans were yelling and jumping up and down. What happened? Dan and Dave asked them. The batter made a base hit when all of a sudden, a big dog ran into the game. He grabbed the baseball and ran out that gate, but he did drop this puck at home plate, the ump told them. Dan and Dave ran out the gate. There were 6 men with rakes and spades standing next to a block of wet pavement. Has a lost Great Dane run past? They asked. You bet, a man told them. That big dog ran smack dab into the middle of this wet pavement. He zigzagged in and out of the rakes and spades as if he were in a maze. Jake's tracks went into a tent in front of Jane's dress shop. Under the tent were racks of dresses and hats and jackets on sale. Dave and Dan spotted Jake. He was running under the racks. He was draped with a dress and had a hat strapped on his neck. "Stop that Great Dane!" they yelled. Chapter 4. Jake's Fan Club. Jake ran into the bank with Dan and Dave hot on his tracks. When Dan and Dave got to him, Jake was sitting next to Kate's desk. He was dressed in a red spotted dress and a pink hat. A baseball sat on the rug next to him. "Jake has been lost all day, but we found him at last," Dave told Kate. "Now we can bring him back to Mrs. Crane." "I will go with you," Kate said. "It is the end of my day at the bank." So off they went, but first they stopped at Jane's tent sale to drop off the dress and the hat. When they told Jane Jake's tale, she wanted to visit Mrs. Crane too. On their way to drop the baseball back at the game, they spotted the paving men who were just packing up. They were so glad that Jake was found, they made their way with the gang to Mrs. Crane's. The baseball game had ended, but the ump still had the puck. He went with the gang to drop the puck off at the rink. When they dropped off the puck, the gang picked up several skaters, and at the lake they picked up several swimmers. What a fan club Jake had! Chapter 5. Jake is safe. Mrs. Crane was so glad that Jake was safe. "Dan and Dave, you are first rate at getting things back that are lost," Mrs. Crane said as she hugged Jake's neck. "We could not have cracked the case without the help of Jake's fan club," Dave told her as he waved to the gang. "I just baked a cake," Mrs. Crane told them. "Let's have it to celebrate." So Mrs. Crane cut the cake and put it on plates. It was a vanilla cake with apricot filling and coconut flake frosting, and it tasted great. Even to a big Great Dane named Jake. And that's the end of The Case of Jake's Escape. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day.